But today, our interest is how to introduce improvisation as a tool for teaching, particularly those, I suppose, who are teaching more in the classical sphere of music, because improvisation, of course, is something that we tend to avoid often, or certainly shy away from a little bit more, and prefer the printed music. So I'm delighted that Izumi is here to share her experiences and maybe encourage us a little bit more to involve this, to incorporate this into our teaching. Izumi, go on.
Thank you very much for coming. So I'd like to just talk a little bit. I'm not very good at talking, but I will try my best. So I'm heavily classically trained. So my background is completely classical in Japan. But I was always interested in different kind of music, for sure. But I didn't actually get to study how to improvise or jazz or any of that in Japan. It was a different time. And I was noticing myself was getting more and more stressed about trying to play correctly, trying not make mistakes, trying not to make fool of myself, all these kind of things. It was really strong in me, and I have that kind of personality that I want to do it right, and this kind of perfectionist approach combined with the Japanese older education system, it was quite difficult. So when I started improvising, well, there's a long story short, I'm not going to go into the personal things too much, but I was always looking for a different way to play music. And finally, I started playing with started improvising, which I did do as a child, then, but at some point in my musical education, I stopped doing it, and all my effort was put into doing things right and trying not to make a mistake, kind of thing. That was the, direction of my practice. It was like a direction that goes into sort of like needle, trying to go through the hole of the needle, kind of end up. So when I started improvising, I realized there is a whole other, but I actually knew that already, that's why I wanted to improvise. There's a whole other part of the music making. So that's what I decided to really kind of dive into. And then realized, I don't know anything at all. All my life, first 20 years of my life, or 30 years, I was trying to do things right. And there's so many things that I realized when I started to improvise. So I think this is such a vast topic, and there's so many different ways to approach this. But today, I think the most important message I would like to bring up is, first of all, mistakes are good things. It's something that we can celebrate, because if we make a mistake, it means we're learning. We can only learn by making mistakes, really. So if we try to do things right from the very beginning, there's always a fear of, but what about the outside world kind of feeling? And so mistake, whatever mistake is a good thing. So if it sounds something like we play something that sounds terrible, that's a good thing. So that's one thing. And another thing is that it's kind of connected with that, but listening. So it's all about listening, basically. When we have the score in front of us, we're looking really busily, so we're not really listening. It's very hard to do both at the same time. We think we're listening, but we're not really listening. You probably know because you teach piano. And so, sometimes when you close your eyes, you can hear differently and simply. Even if you're not playing, or if you're just in everyday life, when you close our eyes, then you realize that things sound differently. So listening is a massive topic, and improvising, in a sense, is all about listening. So that's what I would like to do. And then listening, there's different kind of way of listening, So there's the deep listening and critical listening. And I think critical listening we learn to do. It's like exclusive listening and trying to listen to certain things. Like say, I want to listen to the lower line or bass line or something like that. And then also you listen back to yourself or others playing and thinking, this could be better in this way, this way, this way. So that's the kind of critical listening in a sense that we do a lot. But the deep listening, I think sometimes we forget that even exists, is to just to listen and just to listen to the silence and also to listen to everything and positively. So there's no even positive or negative. You just accept everything and embrace everything you hear. So those two things are not against each other. Like I think we can just, have both. So, but it's a long journey, I think. It's not something we just do now and, okay, we got it. Kind of, it's not really like that. It's really a lifelong learning. So, maybe this is a really beautiful place that, of course, this is church, so acoustic is lovely. So maybe we can really explore the sound and silence. So I came here today with lots of things in my mind, but I don't have, okay, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do this and this and this kind of way. This is the way I kind of go on the stage a lot of times as well. I have a lot of ideas and I have a sort of kind of like a sequence of events, but that doesn't mean that's the way it goes. It depends on where we are and audience and just the vibration of people, things could change. So I'm doing the same kind of way. And this talk is, for me, is like, I have a lot to offer and I would like to exchange with you. That's actually the most important thing. So at any point, please, if you have a question or just want to make a comment or anything, please don't be shy. So how about like we just listen to the silence before we play anything? So it's kind of like, meditation, if you want to call it. But maybe we just close our eyes and just have a silence for maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute. So let's do that. Let's listen to the surroundings. Thank you. There's There's a lot of sound, actually. You should hear lots of sound. So I would like to try something here on the piano, but I would like to hear my sound that I'm making on the piano just the same as the sound we just heard. We were hearing, like the sound of the car passing or creaking chair. Same level. So. So this was improvisation. I think anyone can do this, right? So actually, it's very hard not to try. This is the opposite direction, really, in a sense, to try to play something coherent, piece of music in C major and modulate to A minor in the middle and go back to C major. That's another way. Of course, a lot of times people try to improvising that way, or improvise over tunes, of course. But this is also important practice of improvisation because there's many things. I don't know, what did you hear from this, what I just did? Did you hear anything? Any opinion on this?
Well, I think it became clear how resonant the instrument is. You were using the acoustic and also the pedal and blending sounds.
Yeah.
That was really what struck me was how non-percussive the instrument is.
Okay, thank you. It's sort of like, for me, it was like the pedal is like water, so there's water already is there, and dropping the sort of color of the paint, and just looking at what happens. So sometimes this color and this color merge a little bit, and sometimes make another color that is pleasant, sometimes not so clear, but it's just observing the colors dropped on the water. That was sort of the way I was. But I was also trying to be random, which is another thing. It's hard not to try, so I admit that's why I was trying to go a little bit angular. So if I think I was about to play E, I would just at the last second I go to F sharp or something like that. So just that bit, just to trying to do something that is unexpected to myself. So, that's basically it. The result was just what you heard, that's all. And anything else? Just notice.
Just a lot of space. And I was like, well, what I was really thinking was, I'm thinking of particular students who would really enjoy that and like the freedom of it.
Yeah.
And I can also picture that student's mother saying, stop, what are you playing?
Yeah, I know,
And I
that's the problem.
It's just like that freedom of it all would be actually so beneficial.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think, as you know, everyone is different. Some people would really enjoy this. Some people just think this is what the hell. So I think as a teacher, if we have a lot to offer, then we can kind of, find things that suitable for each person, maybe. But for me, this is easy to do. And also, if you just basically, I think improvisation in this way is to go back to being a kid, and you're just in the playground, or you are in the sand pit, or on the beach. And so what happens if I do something like this? And the difference is, sometimes maybe the small kids might do this, and that's it. But I think we make effort to listen to the sound, not just the beginning of it. That's another thing. We tend to listen to only the beginning of the sound a lot of times. I still do myself, because I'm so keen to play something. But there's a middle part of the sound and the end of the sound that's really important. And if you're a piano player, if you don't use the pedal or use the pedal, whichever, you also have the control to finish the sound, or not finish, but determine the length of the sound. So to listen to the sound until the end and decide when it ends, that's the sort of, maybe that is the practice of this. And also listen to the silence as well. So I didn't really do that time because I had a pedal on all the time, but if sound is completely gone, I might decide to lift up the pedal, then you notice the new level of silence, where there's no such thing as complete silence, but basically to listen to something that we normally don't, listen to the little bit deeper than usual listening. So not listening to notes, listening to sounds. So in a sense, to unlearn what we already know or what we're trying to teach, So depends, of course, depends on the students. But I think these things are good for ourselves, really. It's good for me anyway. So that's one thing. So that's the sort of attitude that I'm trying to do for the first part of this workshop. Maybe later on I will do a little bit different, of course, kind of thing. Another thing is okay, that was just single note or just two notes at the same time, but you can make it if you're to play major triads, suddenly it becomes more complex. So this is when it becomes music theory in practice. So if you're to play just major triads, but not just a C major, for example. So this is actually I think as a teacher, we can make up the rules to suit the students. So if the students are finding it difficult to maybe if the students are learning about major triad, this is a C major, this is C minor. Of course, listening, of course, but if you are just to play the major triad, okay, this is actually a little bit advanced, of course, it's not that easy to do for kids, maybe. So I might jump up and down because I didn't prepare to teach beginners, or it's kind of so I'm going up and down. So if you let me So just a major triad, and to see what happens if you combine different triads. So for example, like that. So again, it's not really a piece of music that you can present, but this is the same thing as this like dropping the colors and what happens when they mix colors. You might notice if you play the F major triad, play the G major triad, that's kind of pleasant. But if you play F sharp major triad and G major triad, it's more dissonant, but it has a different color, different feeling. It's not so like if the student go like just this sounds weird, of course they do. Like that's okay, yeah, weird, but why is it weird? What's the difference? And this. I think this kind of way of learning is a lot to do with the feeling. So again, like we tend to suppress our feelings and then try to play with the feeling, which is maybe not nowadays. In my time, a long time ago, it was a bit like that. I had to suppress my own feeling and try to do things correctly first, and then borrow someone else's feelings. That's what I felt like, and then push it on top, like icing with a cake. I never liked that kind of learning, and I can't teach like that myself. So I think the feeling has to come from within, or everything has to come from within, and even the desire to learn more has to come from within. That's the only way. So yeah, I don't know. It's the top. This is the most important thing for me. So all these start with really listening deeply, and maybe we can help them, and maybe not for now, but maybe in long time from now. Well, I think it's really important, most important, especially nowadays. You can actually get information so easily by just going online. For example, chord scale theory, that maybe come to people's mind when we talk about improvisation. If you're improvising over certain chord structures, there are scales that you can use for this chord and so on. I think before, maybe people went to school to learn these things, and they still do, but actually this is like just sort of information you can actually get. But if we don't listen and if we don't feel, then all this information is complete waste. Like we can't really use the information in good way. So I think we can actually teach that rather than handing out the information, or maybe both. Anyway, can we just try, can I invite you, Sasha, come up, and we try different kind of things. So we only met a few minutes ago, so thank you for coming. So would you like to sit here, and I'll sit here. We're gonna do something really, really simple. So we're just gonna use one hand, right? And maybe we'll kind of, that's your territory. And for the moment. So we just play really, really slowly, any note. But do you think, okay, I don't know you at all. So can you, for example, if I play C, right? Can you imagine these notes in your mind? Can you hear them?
Yeah.
You can hear them. What about these ones?
Probably less.
A bit less, but you can hear these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna play just like project or actually even minute really slowly notes like dun, 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 like this. Mm-hmm. But try to hear before you play. And if you can, that's okay.
Yeah.
You have this sort of feeling of I want to go here, or I want to go down, I want to go up, this kind of thing. And we're going to do it at the same time, just a random melody, okay? And when we hit the same note, I mean, it's not exactly like unison, but like octave or 2 octaves or 3 octaves, I don't know. Same note, then we pause. And then start again. And every time we hit the same note, we pause. That's all. Okay, so let's try. Good, you're listening. When we do this with quite advanced students, a lot of times you realize you just keep going. Like we're hitting the same note, but just keep going. So this is actually really good practice. And it's great that you're listening. We just do one more time, just only white keys.
All right.
And then can you close your eyes? Yeah. Thank you. We tried to go F quite a lot. Yeah, that was actually nice. We started playing more together already. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do something. Sorry, I have very bad memory. I have to look at myself. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I know you can play the piano really well already, but pretend you can't, right?
Okay.
So pretend that you don't know anything about piano, like this is the first time you just saw it, and you're gonna play a lot of things like this. A cluster, basically, in fancy words. But we're gonna just like play with the rhythm.
Okay.
And it's really like a long resonance, so I'm not sure how this goes, but let's just do that. So I'm gonna play something, I'm gonna make up something on the bass line here. And that would be like a 4/4. Let me just try it. Think. It's a bit jazzy, so is that okay? Yeah. So it's just like this. And you're not gonna think about what note to play. You're gonna do this. But within this this is just key point. And you don't have to play like with the time, but just like but you're still thinking. You're still trying to play something cool. Or nice. But that's okay. It's good. You did a really good job. Okay. So maybe we'll gently go into the sort of like tonality. Because you might find it's more fun. Usually teenagers find the tonality more fun than atonal. But let's just do one more thing before we go into the tonality. So, just let me just try this. Can I just play something? We're gonna have a conversation. So I'm just gonna play something really short. You play something really short, but we're gonna have this is a conversation, okay? So. Okay, this could go on forever. So, did you get out all the sort of, Probably. I can see you're still trying to, you have this hand going trying to play like octave. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's okay, of course. Basically, I'm trying to break what you've been learning, but no, I'm not actually. So let's do that. So when you play just that time, did you kind of play randomly?
At the start, yeah. And then I felt like just doing like.
Yeah, I did a little bit of C major and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was pretty random, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So can you just keep that way and be random and don't have to try to make something. And actually, just remember what I said at the beginning. If we sound bad, it's a good thing because we're learning.
Yeah.
So let's try this. I think I do this a lot with the students, and sometimes some students like it, some students don't. So we'll see. So I'm going to ask you to just like improvise. But first, maybe let's do a little bit of call and response. So we don't call and response?
No.
So it's like question and answer. So I'll play something. We're going to just use black keys only. And play something. I'll try to play chords and melody. I do a really, really simple melody with the black keys, and you're going to just sort of like copy me afterwards.
Okay.
But then after a while, you can just make up your own.
Yeah.
So can I use the
Yeah.
So let's do like, okay, so what comes is like, we're gonna just do the black keys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fine for now. And would you like 4/4 time or 3/4 time or 6/8 time? Do you have any preference?
3/4 is fun.
3/4. Okay. So something like 1, 2, 3. That one. So let's try this. Really slowly. 2, 3. Yeah, thank you. That was lovely. So you played all the black keys. Well, I actually played one white key
Yeah.
already. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. So do you know what this scale is?
I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the one where there's no distance.
Very good. You know that this is pentatonic scale.
Yeah.
So pentatonic is E flat minor pentatonic or G flat or F sharp major pentatonic. So as you said, if it was major, like these notes, so 4 and 7, if you take up the 4th and 7th note from the major scale, 2, 3, 4, and 7, then you have a major pentatonic. And this is a very handy scale for improvising like this in the tone with a tonality. But so black keys are really always good. So that's really good. Thank you very much, and you're very good. You're improviser. So I want to ask you. I played the white key already at a very early stage by mistake. So what was that note again?
I think it was an E.
Let's try E.
Oh.
Let's just try again. So just do a little bit like a shorter version of it, and then if you feel like you're playing white key, if you feel like rather than just sort of randomly kind of, but if you feel like this note, then go for it.
Okay.
Just a short one. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so you played a white note there. What was that? F. Yeah, that's what I did too. So you play F. So if you play F with all these black keys, you get this. So what scale is this becoming?
It's becoming a major scale, I want to say.
Well, it could be major or minor.
Oh, yeah.
Depends on where you start. But
I mean, it's becoming a more full scale.
So if this was a major, what major scale is this? What key is this?
I mean, if it was a major, then it would be C sharp major, right?
Yeah. C sharp major or D flat major. So in that case, you have this as well, right? So you can actually play this as well, right? So maybe just like you don't have to be just playing black keys now. You can play this as well, only if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just try again. Maybe do the 4/4 this time.
Okay.
So can you count in? Is this a crochet?
I guess so. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is something I do sometimes. So you might ask, thank you very much. What chord I'm playing? Do you know that what I was doing, the chord was? Not necessarily you have to do this, obviously. There's many other ways to do that. But I was playing 2/5, which means like harmonically, if it's in this key of C major, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 diatonic chords, right? So I was playing 2, this is D minor, and G major, which is a 5, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you just keep playing 2, D minor, or G, that's what I was kind of doing. Or you can also do 1, which is C major, and just go to 4, which is F, right? C, D, E, F. Go between C and 4. Let's try that. Okay. So just a C major. And maybe we do 3/4 again. 3/4 is nice. Okay. So it's kind of like, if I do 1 and 4, it's kind of like a lullaby. So let's make a lullaby.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna just completely do the melody. I just accompany. 1, 2, 3. So at the end, I changed a little bit.
Yeah.
What did you hear? What I did?
I wasn't sure. I was trying to figure it out. It was like, did you like modulate into F minor or something?
Well, you're very good here. I didn't actually modulate to F minor, but I did play F minor.
Oh, okay.
So first I was playing C major and F major, C major, F major, just like swaying between these two. But then I played F minor instead of F major. So this sounds like when I do C major, it goes F major, like this. So if I do C, F minor, that's different, but they both work. Yeah, so I'm going to change a little bit, change around this time. So you're going to use your ear, and you can just keep playing the C major, or you can respond by playing some different notes, like black notes this time. So I'm going to just improvise randomly, and we're going to just have a conversation. Okay, here we go. So let's keep 3 or 4.
Okay.
Which one?
3.
3, okay. So C major. There's some interesting moments there. Yeah. Okay. So let's try it one more time, like this, but not in the tonality.
Okay.
So we're just going to have a conversation.
Okay.
But let's just play only one melody each. So in fact, we're supposed to have a break, right? Sorry. So we should have a break first, maybe. Let's play one small piece and then have. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's just have a really small piece. Okay, I'm not going to do anything new. Let's just do something similar, black and white. Okay, let's do A, B, A. So A section is a black key, B section is a white key, and back to black key, and then finish. But I'm not going to tell you when. So you, as you know already, use your ear, and we're going to listen to each other.
Yeah.
So black is A, right? That's right. Okay, that's right. 1, 2, 3. so let's have a break.
We have tea.
Maybe I just talk about a little bit of what I normally do as well. Like, so I've been teaching. I just have a small amount of students at home, and I teach in a jazz course in DCU. But I teach mostly ear training. So and a piano, just a little bit of piano, but not that much. So obviously, I'm not jazz pianist, so I don't teach jazz. I can't teach jazz repertoire to students in a sense. So I don't do that. But what I like to do, and I started doing more, is that this free improvisation. A lot of times, classical background musicians, or very little background or people, or depends. Like anyone who is interested in improvisation. So I do. I have a course in the academy that is an adult division course. So it's in the evening, Monday evenings. Anyone who's interested in joining, please, I just let you know. So it's for any instrument. Actually, last term I had a visual artist. Well, I work with her. I improvise with her. She makes a video. She's a video artist, as well as many other things. We did actually at this point, many concerts, and she is showing the video, abstract, visual. We're playing improvising music, and she's actually improvising with us, kind of thing, this kind of crazy stuff. And she took my course, and she does play piano pretty well, but she didn't mind not to play all the time. So she would bring different kind of things. Like one stage she brought a radio. We played with the radio, and also we play with a graphic score, which is actually very classical thing to do. Just to use any photograph or any artwork or draw something. Draw like a really simple example would be just to draw a line. And let's play this line. It could be, literally, if that's difficult, you can draw a line on the stage and actually try to play that, except for there's no dots. So you can decide, what this means, basically. Or maybe this up and down could be something to do with the dynamics, doesn't always have to be with the pitch, all these. And I think we can, as a teacher, we can decide if the students are a bit weak with the dynamics, which happens a lot, forgetting about dynamics, just to practice dynamics, which is actually probably in a sense easy thing to do, because, it's improvise a piece that has extreme dynamics, or start from really quiet, they have to finish it with the loudest you can do, kind of thing, and any notes. So that's something I think we can improvise, basically, as a teacher, what's needed right now, or what would be a good thing to do right now, and make up exercise. And it might work, might not work, If it works, you can take a note and, okay, this is your repertoire. But if it doesn't work, we can try again with someone else, and it might work with someone else, kind of thing. So anyway, I would like to try just a rhythmic. So I know I have this lovely piano, so I'm kind of want to use it and play, but for now we're just going to do clapping. So even though there's a piano sitting here. So this is tempo. Let's do like simply call and response again. So how about like if I improvise the rhythm, 4 bar, like 4 beats, and you're going to copy? Would you like to do that? Like everyone improvise simple rhythm for 4 beats and everyone copy. And so is that okay to do this way? Let's just do it. Okay? Here we go. So it's 4/4. Let's do 4/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Can you hear the metronome?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, again. 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Thank you. That was wonderful. So, okay, could you just make up another one just now? Please. Okay. So we can do this maybe in the teaching. So improvise, rhythm. Is that right? Thank you. I wasn't sure. And then maybe assign a scale if we wanted to learn like D major scale. Okay, first you can just play the scale. It's not really improvising, but like that. And then maybe next one, start mixing them up. Like that. So make up rules, and maybe for that one, first 2 are scales, next 2 make up, but you have to learn on the do, like D, like that. That's not that easy to do, for kids to do. And so by doing that, a lot of times, we're practicing so many things, like in one exercise, because you're practicing the rhythm and practicing the scale, of course, which notes to play. And if we play by mistake, like C natural, then, oh, what just happened? We play the C natural instead. In fact, there's such thing as this is a Mixolydian mode, but you don't have to go into that. But if the student is ready, then you can go into that, because this is sort of like a learning, just a web of learning, and you can, rather than going from here to there, you can kind of go like this. You might notice I'm kind of like that. That's like my life. So, so that would be another sort of exit point, or going to a different direction with this point. But if you would want to just stick to this, you can regard this C natural as wrong note, or just to sort of like show them a glimpse of like, actually, it's a wrong note if you're playing this D major, but there is such thing as this. This is another scale, and what does it sound like? How does that feel compared to yes. I think you do these kind of things, you know, but I think personally it's really important to connect with how it feels, how it sounds. But we do tend to forget. We're trying to really like teach, you know, I have to do this, have to make them understand and to be able to play. A lot of times, just like, you know, play this note. So there's this is a black note, this is sharp, and a lot to do with a visual cue, you know, rather than what it feels. So it's a good, I think, way to use the listening in the teaching. Okay, so let's do another rhythm. Maybe do the 3/4, your favorite this time.
For me again?
So no, let's do everyone, if that's okay. But do you mind doing it, or you prefer that too?
Yeah, leave me out. You can leave me out.
Okay. Sorry about that. So 3/4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, thank you. I like you're like, there was a dynamics. I know you didn't mean that. There were actually 3 projects, but every project was different. You know, it was really reflecting what you were thinking about, or you weren't sure, but you just put in the last note. So let's take this one. So it's like first one is like big, and then sort of depression. So if you were to do that, maybe because there's only 3 notes, you can explore the dyad. So dyads are 2 notes together, you know, chord, 2 notes together, if you call this chord. And you could just like say, for example, we're gonna use F major scale. Okay, first we can just do it, obviously, like, just single notes. And try dyad. Oh, I didn't do the depression. It's really actually hard to do that. So, I don't know if this is going to appeal to some kids. Maybe some kids, but not everyone. Maybe. I think it's impossible to please everyone, as we know. So, sometimes I just try different things. I just completely improvise teaching, and let's do this and see what this feels like, kind of thing. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, maybe would anyone else like to come up? Sorry, of course you're welcome too. But in case there's someone else who would like to come up and play. No?
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, they're pretty good.
Oh, okay, I will.
Thank you. I hope you don't mind. So we're gonna make up a parameter or make up a rule right now because we're improvising. So would you like to set anything? Like a key or time signature or mood of the piece or how it goes.
We could go black keys.
Black keys, yeah. Black keys only.
Yeah,
Okay.
for both of us.
For both of us. Okay. Right. Okay, so can I suggest that we will have again like conversational approach?
Mhm.
How about we play, like, I play melody as well,
Okay.
rather than I accompany you.
Yeah.
Let's just do the melody and conversation first.
Okay.
Would you like to start? Oh, that was nice. Thank you. Okay, so could we play a little bit more like whatever chords maybe? Or two lines?
Okay.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
Let's try.
Okay.
So that's how this time. Okay, let's play together.
People heard that.
That was lovely. What do you think?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Is listening to our two parts is the kind of interesting part, you know, because you can't hear everything exactly as it is. Well, I can't, but it's just it's the feel of the rhythms and
Yeah.
you know where everything's going.
I think I tend to close my eyes, not ears, my eyes when I improvise. I just so yeah, just sort of like going into the space kind of thing. Yeah. Could we just do one more thing? Like this time, like it's not going to be nice because we're going to play
Okay.
the other notes as well.
Yeah. Sure.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other notes?
Any other notes? Yeah, white notes.
Okay.
As well as the black. But you don't have to use all the notes, but
Yeah.
there's a little bit more go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Just okay. Let's begin. finish. That was sort of a finishing point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I kind of enjoyed that.
That was lovely.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
So what does it sound like from audience point of view? For the first one and second one, the first one was like more, like definitely going to work. It was very constant. The second one was a little bit weird. So how did that sound like? Should I say?
Little bit of questions.
Mm-hmm. Did it sound very unpleasant when we clashed? Didn't? Are you sure?
There was a couple of little like messiany
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
moments.
Yeah. I think so. This is another point. I think when we play like this and embrace the dissonance, like we're going back. I'm just going back to the beginning point of view, because every note is related to each other. So if we hear them, if you listen to them, they start singing together, and they're all different songs, you know, but they do sing together because they're all related with each other. So it's really like it's actually a very peaceful, you know, activity to do this. Like this world needs it, and it's a great thing to do as an educator and teacher. I think with the kids, rather than well, I can do both. As we were talking earlier, it's both. It's not like one or the other. You know, to try to do things correctly is obviously important, but to do both, of course. Okay, I'm not going to go on and on. So another thing is like how you play it is actually more important than what we play it, right? And because if you play very like sometimes you play wrong or something that sounds wrong, by repeating it, you can make it right. That's what happens a lot in improvising. So if you just like make a statement with some kind of worst choice of note, it becomes the most like impressive note sometimes. So it's not what we play, like how we play. And we, as a player, we all know that. You know, when we play classical repertoire or any piece of music, sometimes we don't really understand at the beginning, but more and more we practice, it becomes we internalize and becomes our own. So we can just do anything with it. That's the feeling. So basically, whatever we play, like we throw our hands at the keys to make music with it, and that's where we're going, I think. So I don't know if that's going to make any sense with. Maybe it makes sense with the small kids, of course. I don't know. Depends. I just would like to do one more similar kind of thing with another person, if you would like to volunteer. There's no wrong note. No? Okay, if you don't feel like, then it's okay. Would you like to come up again?
I don't mind.
No?
Whatever works. If anyone else wants to, I don't mind. Like I can come up if no one else wants to.
No? It's like, for me, this is like a really beautiful way to get to know each other. You know? That's all. There's a different kind of communication in it. Well, it's okay if you don't feel like yeah, let's do it. But if you prefer to play solo, that's okay too. Okay, let's do it. So, would you like to make any kind of restriction?
Restriction. No.
Okay, let's just go. That was interesting. What do you think?
I like the rhythm, I think.
Yeah, the rhythm is definitely fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do a lot with it. It's
For
easier.
sure.
Focusing on rhythm for me is easier.
Yeah, of course. But actually, because this is there's no tonality, really. Only maybe tonality appears here and there, but not like. So there's no wrong note completely. So it's just about the rhythm. So, yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, so I do this kind of just playing with the students if they're into it, and sometimes it goes a really interesting place, and this was rhythmic, and then if we do another one, let's do something like a different piece, the contrasting piece, and so it's kind of thing. We can do that. So this way, we're just kind of having fun. And did it sound good? What do you think?
Yeah.
Sounded pretty good. Because we're just using our ear and musicianship that we have, everything that we usually use as a musician, like we kind of summoning up to make music together. So I actually forgot to bring it, sorry. So sometimes I just take out like postcard or a picture and then play that. But that could be usually just starting point. But maybe we can do something like that. So I have this note that I made. So I'm gonna pick some words from this note and use it as a motif. Okay? Would anyone like to try? So again, we're going away from the harmonic stuff. So I don't have to think too much about what note to play and what note. Just to kind of purely going with the rhythm and feeling and dynamics and other things. There's so many other things than notes in music. So anyone like to try? No? Okay, well if not, maybe
I'm happy to try it if you want someone.
yeah.
I'm happy to, yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah, of
course. Yeah, it's more fun to play with.
Yeah.
I didn't need that. So let's do. So this is not a poem or anything. The same pulse. The same pulse. That's what the phrase is. The same pulse. Okay. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. But how did you feel?
I felt great.
Cool, yeah, because
I like reading stuff.
actually, yeah, I didn't read. It did have the same pulse, but not meter. That was actually the sentence. That's what we did.
Okay.
So the pulse was the same. So we had the same pulse, but we didn't have any meter. So like it was just like 1 1 1 1 1
Yeah.
all the time.
I was thinking of the like heartbeat kind of
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah, I think that's sort of like a heartbeat. Yeah,
exactly.
heartbeat thing that we tend to go to. Yeah.
Pulse,
Okay. Cool.
as long as it's not this.
But that's okay as well. That's okay as well. So we'll just do one more thing. That gave me an idea. So I'm gonna say, let's say this is in the middle, like a bell, and we're gonna play things around it, sort of like fairies flying around the bell.
Okay.
But the bell is going always.
Okay.
Let's see. This is like a little challenge. So this is a composition I just made up. So we have to, between us, we're always going to keep the bell going. Like, you can do it here, anywhere. But at the same time, we can,
It's always going.
yeah, something that is light and flying around.
Okay.
Here we go. Thank you. So that was a piece, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We should call that a piece.
I
I would.
would play a lot like
In fact, if you believe or not, this is what I do all the time. I improvise all the time, pretty much freely. And so, I don't have many concerts every week, but this is what I do. So I actually just recorded a solo album. So I went into the studio and improvised for like 3 hours, listened back everything, selected pieces, because I did try to play pieces. So when I improvise, personally, I would like to sound as if it's composed. And that's always like for the last 20 years, that's why my aim is when I'm playing a composed piece, I want to sound like improvise. When I improvise, I want to sound like composed. That's kind of sort of roughly, that's what I aim for. So I just recorded this yeah, 3 hours maybe altogether of improvised pieces, altogether like 30 pieces or more, actually 50 pieces or something. But I selected 15 pieces out of that. And so made an album. So I do these kind of things all the time. You might not believe it. Might feel like this is like, that could be a career, but that's what I do. So I just feel it's really a great thing to do. And if we could share this with the students in any kind of portion, any way, I think it's a great thing to do as well. Yeah. So I'm not sure about the timelines.
I think we're kind of there.
It's kind of there, isn't it?
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions, perhaps they'd like to put to Izumi?
Just completely confused. No question?
No? Well, then I think I'd like to thank you very much on behalf of everyone here and anybody who's online. There's something exhilarating, I think, about actually not worrying about what you play. And
Yes.
I think it's certainly something that
I actually have a question. Did you try to put that in the notes? Like when you, after you improvised, and then did you write that down so other people can play it?
Oh, so many people told me to do that. And some people do. A lot of times, actually, in fact, like Mozart, for example, like he was just writing down what he would improvise. And I haven't really done, I do write down, but just for myself. So I don't have a publication.
And is it known, like this famous pieces, that's how they were written? That they improvise or they hear that, or like, you know, famous composers and...
Well, I think composition and improvisation are like same, you know, two sides of the same coin. So you got to start somewhere. So I think improvisation could be a good starting point for composition. But the composition, people can go back and really kind of, you know, polish it and change it and to really make it the definite version of it. So it's edited in a sense. I actually just did a improvisation workshop with the composition students in the academy as well. And that was wonderful because they can actually play the instrument pretty well as well. And because they're composers, they have compositional way of thinking. So naturally they play sort of form, you know, make a form as they improvise. And I realized they are fearless, they young generations like you, no sort of, you know, fear. They just go for it, and which is a great thing to see, and a lot of confidence. And I suppose, like, I feel like I was pretty much traumatized by the educational system from before. But young people nowadays, I think it's different. So we have hope. Sorry, I don't know if I answered your question.
No.
very good about that. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'd like to just remind you that on the 1st of December, 3 weeks from now, it is Sunday afternoon, we're back in this church for our annual Christmas concert. So if you do have any students who haven't entered yet, please do encourage them to do so. And thank you all again for coming along today. Thank you.
What's the story? Story with the Christmas concert. I wonder this every year.
Very much. It was wonderful. Thank you. It's nice.
That's actually, yeah,
Really,
Let's see how old.
Oh, that's